Staying in London, but back to the Premier League, gents. Arsenal. Are they the best in the league right now, LB?
Yeah. Yeah. But you didn't think I was going to say that, did you, Gooners? You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, no, they're definitely the best team in the division at the moment on current form. They're blowing everyone away in the Premier League. Still a little bit of work to do maybe in the Champions League. I was probably slightly the only sort of like negative, really, that Porto game. But yeah, man, like, listen, they're just blowing teams away. Their goal difference is the best out of the three. You know what I mean? Newcastle, and I know Newcastle are not the same Newcastle as last year, but they've not lost a game in 4 matches. And I know they were also conceding goals as well, but Arsenal just dusted them to one side, really. It was so easy for them. They got Sheffield United on Monday. Jesus, man, I'd be worried if I was a Sheffield United fan, if the way that Arsenal are playing at the moment, that could be a heavy, heavy beating. And it's not like Sheffield United have not got form. I think, didn't someone put, I think it was Newcastle, did it? Newcastle put 8 past them or something like that. So, they're absolutely slamming it. They're under pressure as well. They're doing it under pressure because, like my team, City and Arsenal, we need to win all our games. We ain't really, got the room to make any mistakes and drop points. City and Arsenal, we can't really. City had 1 with Chelsea. That's pretty much as far as we can stretch it. Maybe we could draw 1 more, City. Arsenal are probably under slightly more pressure than City because they're a further point behind. And, I don't think people realise, yes, there's 12 games to go. That's not long. Yeah, before you know it, we'll be down to 8, 9 matches. And then really you're struggling. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Arsenal are slamming it at the moment. And, fair dues to them. They just need to keep it up because they're under pressure, Arsenal, like City are. We need to win our games. We ain't got that money in the bank. Like Liverpool have got a little bit, you know what I mean? They're a point clear of us. They're 2 points ahead of Arsenal. Yeah, so big up to Arsenal. They're doing well.
Do you understand, LB, why Arsenal fans don't see eye to eye with you?
Not when I've just praised you and just said you're absolutely slamming it. You're the best team. You're slamming them. You're going to absolutely demolish Sheffield United. Sheffield United fans should be worried. And you're doing it under pressure.
No, but you get my point. Like, I'm not saying why they should or shouldn't. But why do you think they come for you? Because there's a lot of Arsenal fans that speak to me like, LB, he's like, he hates Arsenal on your show, hates Arsenal on the Terrace, hates Arsenal on this.
Because you can't accept criticism. So, like, I'll say, oh, yeah, you slammed it, but, shocking result really in Porto. Oh, you hate, I don't know. You tell me, bro. I've just literally praised Arsenal. What more can I say about Arsenal there? I said, you're smashing everyone. You're tearing apart Newcastle. Sheffield United need to watch out. You got the best goal difference. You're the best team in the top 3. And you're doing it under pressure. What more can I say? If Arsenal fans want to say I've got an agenda or I hate Arsenal after I've just said all that, there's really not much else I can do, bro.
You don't hate Arsenal though, right?
Why would I hate Arsenal, bro? When I was growing up, yeah, my team wasn't as relevant as other teams, yeah. And United were going head to head with Arsenal. I was backing Arsenal.
You weren't relevant at all, mate.
Yeah, I know, but come on, Terry. I'm trying to fucking come on, man. No, like I backed Arsenal growing up, bro. They played football the right way. I like watching Arsene Wenger's football with Thierry Henry. I was backing Arsenal to win over United. So why do I don't have any sort of rivalry with Arsenal. There is nothing there. There's never been any big beef between our clubs. On the pitch, we've never really had any sort of like major issues. There's nothing there. So you tell me.
Would you rather us win it than Liverpool if City don't?
I don't really want either of you to win it.
No, but one of us has got to win it if it ain't City. Who would you back?
It's both disgusting. Because I don't want Arteta.
There's no rivalry with Arsenal. You got more of a rivalry with Liverpool, surely.
No, because I don't want Arteta to win it. Yeah, and obviously
you like Arteta? He was at your club.
Former assistant manager. I don't want him to go there and then win the league when he was previously an assistant, and then he goes and wins it over Pep. I don't want that to happen. But also, I don't really want Klopp to win it in his final year. So I'm not really that bothered. Like I don't want either of you to win it, but like I don't have a favourite as to which one I'd rather win.
You must have a favourite.
Not really.
But it's got to be Liverpool, isn't it? Because you and Liverpool and City, even though the cities are generally despise each other, you man love each other. Like Klopp and Pep, it's not really a rivalry. It's a bit of a Brokeback Mountain bromance type thing. Like you and Liverpool proper love each other off.
It's the worst rivalry in
And
history.
he's
It really
smiling.
is.
You know when you say to a
Here we
guy,
go.
you know when you say to one of your mates, do you fancy Claire? And they go, no. That's what LB's like trying not to smile there. You love Liverpool.
I
agree.
I don't love Liverpool. Looking at that, and to be fair, there's actually a little bit of rivalry between them two. You know what I mean? We've had it before with the fans. You know what I mean? Clashing multiple times. There is a much more heavily
Lovers
rooted
tiff.
rivalry.
A lovers tiff, we'll call
maybe
it.
a lovers tiff. The managers get on, but listen,
They do.
I
They're
don't know.
bros.
And Pat says get off the fence. I am on the fence, but I don't want to jump off the fence either way. I want to stay on the fence, man. You know what I mean? So listen, not for me. I don't really have hatred for either of them. I just don't want either of them to win it.
You're up against Liverpool. If it was Liverpool or Man United that were challenging it, who would you prefer then?
Then I'd prefer Liverpool to win it.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Fair enough. Dan, how impressive you been with your Gooners? Because I know the Porto game was awful and they were rightfully criticised. But in the league, which is a different competition, and you know what I find really ironic? People say, "Oh, you can't take Arsenal's league form into the Champions League, Terry, because it's a different competition." You go, "Oh, fair point." When you say, "Oh, the league form's brilliant, isn't it?" Yeah, but what about the Champions League? Well, I thought they were separate. One minute they're separate, the next minute they're not. But yeah, you guys
great point.
Right now, nobody looks like they can beat you.
Yeah, we're demolishing teams, bruv. We are. We're absolutely demolishing them, and it's great to see. And I'm here for it. I've got to give Mikel Arteta an amazing amount of credit. Do you know what? I said this earlier. Since coming back from Dubai, I've got to give the coaching staff and Mikel Arteta the most praise I ever have done in the last 4.5 years. And I'll tell you why. Because this is the first time I've ever looked at Arsenal under Mikel Arteta and saw him change something that wasn't working and not be stubborn to stick to it and just say it will just keep working. Because I've said this before, Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, all those managers, they tweak things, but they make plan A better. They don't completely revamp stuff. But I have seen stuff at Arsenal completely revamped in the last few games, and it's working. Set pieces. Someone has identified Declan Rice to be put on set pieces because they've realised that actually he's technically gifted in certain other areas that really he hasn't been given credit for. He's taking corners in dead ball situations and it's working. Our set pieces, some people are saying, is like a penalty. It's crazy how good we are at set pieces. We scored 19 times this season from set pieces. Phenomenal. Gabriel and Saliba, a threat. Ben White, Jakub Kivior, Havertz, Rice. These are all players that are big, physical players that can actually get in and around people in the box, right? So that's definitely improved. Kivior before against Fulham, we lost. Against West Ham, we lost. He was playing as a left back. It was terrible. He was trying to invert. He was absolutely dreadful. What he's done now is he's gone, you can't do that job. I'm going to change it. Ben White, you're now inverting on the right-hand side. Not only has Ben White come into his own, Kivior looks good as a left back, and he's actually playing more as a left centre back when he inverts to put Gabriel in the middle of the three now, which is looking even better. The other thing that's happened, Kai Havertz isn't really a midfielder, does look better up top. He's now interchanging it with Trossard. So him and Trossard in and out of possession are sometimes players a 4-4-2, but they're definitely closer to each other. When Havertz has been asked to play in the 9, he's looking good there because some of his attributes actually further forward do him a lot of good. So he's changing things up now, Mikel Arteta, and we are destroying teams, mate. And it weren't long ago that we were going to Luton and Brentford and Palace and places like that, and we were scraping over the line. Last minute Havertz winners, last minute Rice win against Luton, last minute Havertz win against Brentford. We held out 1-0 at Palace away, 2-1 at home to Forest start of the season. It weren't that great. It was a bit shaky, and we were getting across the line that way. And people were going, Arsenal winning, but I ain't convinced. This ain't going to be sustainable going forward. Now we've got those same teams. Palace, stick 5 past them. West Ham, 6 past them. Burnley, 5 past them. Newcastle, 4 past them. Let's not get it twisted and say that we didn't scrape over the line against Liverpool. We dominated the whole of that game and beat them 3-1. That's a very hard team to beat. No one else has done it. So Mikel Arteta and the coaching staff deserve a lot of credit. And I'll end on this. Nicolas Jover, by the way, who we took set-piece coach from Man City. Wow. Props to you, bro, because what you've done is you've put every single team on alert when Arsenal take a set piece now, whether we're defending from one or whether we're attacking from one. Because Arsenal at the moment in set pieces is unreal, mate. And I've been really impressed by it. Will it continue? Of course, we've got question marks, man. We have cluster of results. Arsenal have little clusters. 2 seasons ago, it was West Ham, Brighton and Palace. Last season, it was West Ham, Liverpool and Southampton. This season, it's been West Ham, Fulham and Liverpool. Let's hope That's the only cluster we have because we've got a hell of a lot, of games to go that are going to be difficult. We have got to go to the Etihad. We've got to go to Old Trafford. We've got to go to White Hart Lane. And we've got to win at those places as well, by the way. Yeah. And that's without forgetting that we've got to go to Wolves and Brighton away, which are difficult this season. So there's some hard games to come for Arsenal. But the way we're playing at the moment, long may it continue, man, because it's a joy to watch, man. And like you always say, Tel, we're scaring teams at the moment, bruv. We're scary.
You guys are scary, and it's. I've just been at peace with it for a long time. Morpheus here. I hope you're well, Morpheus. It says, big up, Dan, for finally giving Mikel Arteta credit. Great show.
Listen, I give him credit and I criticise him, but only when it's deserved. I criticise him when he deserves it, when he dumps us out of competitions that I think we should be taken seriously. I give him criticism when we set up tactically and we get overrun. I give him criticism where I feel that he has underachieved as a manager, just like I do players. But when he deserves credit, 100% I'm there to give it to him. When he has been tactically spot on, fair play to him. When I'll give him player ratings, whenever I do that, I'll give him a 10 out of 10 when he deserves it, and I'll give him a 1 out of 10 when he deserves it. I'm no different with what I was with Arsene Wenger, George Graham, Unai Emery, players likewise that have come and gone at Arsenal. When players and managers deserve the respect and the credit, they get it. When they deserve criticism, you can't do it. I know this says that I support Arsenal, but I can criticise the team as well, yeah? I can criticise Chelsea, United, Tottenham, just as I can Arsenal because I love football and I watch football. And when things go right, I'll give 100% credit. When it goes wrong, I'll tell you why I believe it's gone wrong and who I think's to blame. And sometimes, that has been the manager, for sure.
Do you know what's interesting about criticism? I find criticism is a part of support. You always know when it isn't real criticism and it's hate because the goalposts get moved every single time. And I know you don't do that, Dan. There are some people that are like, do you know what? If the team does X, Y, and Z, I'm going to praise it or get behind them. They do it. And then actually, but it's because of this nuance or because of this, I'm not going to get behind. That's where it becomes about hate. But whether it's supporting a football team, running a business, bringing up children, like there has to be an element of criticism and an element of, tough love is the phrase I would use at times to help get the best out of them. This year from Harold, who's from Norway, says, if Man United don't win, I don't care about the 4 in a row for City or the 21 Premier Leagues for Liverpool. I don't want Liverpool to win because I can't stand them. City because I'm indifferent to them. I want Arsenal to win for Odegaard, obviously, as a Norwegian.
Big up, Harold.
I do care about the 4 in a row. I care about the 21 as well. But the 21, it's much easier for Man United to at some point get 21 league titles than it is to do a 4P. And maybe it's because we did the treble first in England. And for years, that was just such a great accolade to have that no one could touch. Now City have also got one. I don't want someone to have an accolade. We had the three-peats and we had 2 of them and nobody else had that. We were the first team to do the double-double, to have 2 FA Cup and Premier League, like league title wins. No one ever done that until we did. And having these records and having them first, I think so important. So yes, City doing a 4-peat, the likelihood of us ever witnessing that again is exceedingly low. And it's a record. And I think a lot of people are indifferent to City because they're hoping they get found guilty. If they're not found guilty, I think suddenly people are going to stop being so indifferent to them. I really do. So I'd rather them not have the records. Yes, it'd be fun to see it be stripped, but I'd rather not take the risk. I'd rather not take the risk, mate. I really wouldn't. This is why Arsenal are so hated. Always victims.
Who's that directed at me?
LB, I reckon.
Me? What did I say?
Well, I think they're saying that like you guys are acting like. Do you agree, LB, that Arsenal fans act like victims? Is essentially what I thought that.
I don't think victim is the right word. I would say that they really struggle to hear people criticize them. As do most fans, to be fair. I struggle to hear people criticize my club. It is what it is. But like, I feel like even when you're being kind to them and generous about them, like if you say something bad about them, like not all of the fans, but some of the fans will be like, just come for you, even though you've just praised them. As seen before, I wouldn't say victim is the right word. I don't know, but I think all fan bases have it. I do think all fan bases have it, and
yeah, I agree.
You at the end of the day, Arsenal have got a massive fan base, so you are going to have more of those type of fans. It's just the way the world works, isn't it?
Spurs are like it as well. I'm not saying this because I'm Arsenal. Maybe I get this more because I am an Arsenal fan. But Spurs are like it. You give them a little bit of an inch, they'll take a mile. And Arsenal were the same. There's a section of the fan base you'll say, "Oh, Arsenal looking good, aren't they? I know. Treble's on, innit? Whoa, calm down. I just said you were playing well." That's what happens with some section of the fan base. They get so extreme, and it's like, just calm. I only said you played well, man. Like, let's just like have it right. You're playing well at the moment.
I grew up around a lot of Spurs fans when they were doing nothing, and again, it used to confuse me as a kid. They'd sit there and talk about their teams and with exactly the same word. And maybe this goes on now a little bit as well. They talk about their team and their club in the same way the teams that are being genuinely successful do. And I think, how are you using the same language? How can a team be winning titles, challenging for titles, winning trophies, and they're talking about great teams, excellent play, wonderful players, world-class this. And then you hear Spurs fans talk about their club and their team, and they use the same words. And for me, like the language matters. Like, so I know some things like what's world class. There's a clear debate around the definition that's needed. But when you say, "Oh, my team's great," now you've got to genuinely be great. Like, I don't even put Arsene Wenger into the great manager category because I believe you have to win back-to-back league titles and/or a Champions League to qualify. And that isn't to dig him. It's like I feel like there's got to be, and we had a big debate on this, and someone said maybe I should change my word from great to like legendary or something. I'm like, well, maybe I can do that, but the premise still remains. Like, we've got to have a standard you've got to achieve. And when I hear Spurs fans say they've got a great team, but you haven't had a great team since the 60s, bruv. It's as simple as that.
100%.
You haven't had a great team since the 60s.